And for the first session, we have preliminary part of attendance plus. And we hope that today's session will be more streamlined and smooth as we have experienced and tested. So, actually, a good starting day today. I'll invite one PG student, our PG student, Prateek Chauhan, to give a brief introduction about Prateek. Yeah, please, please
Yes,
carry on.
yes. Good morning to all of you. Uh, and thank you to Yadav sir. That is, he is invited for the artificial neural network lesson. I am audible to all of you, and my voice is clear. Okay, fine. So today, as we are going to discuss that ANN, artificial neural network. Basically, such want this kind of practice that each tool he will use, then always he is in trouble, or we can say that he is in a dilemma that whether we should use a particular tool or not. Now, when the question comes in mind that which tool I should use, there is a two approach. One thing is that we want to use a tool. Suppose I am passionate to use ANN. I am passionate to use artificial neural network or fuzzy logic or analytical hierarchy process or multi-criteria decision making. I am passionate to use that. So you are framing your problem in that direction. That is one approach. So first you are selecting the tool, that what tool or which tool you are going to use. And the second thing is that you are defining your problem. Suppose you are problem oriented, so you are defining the problem, and then based on that you are selecting your particular tool, that this is my problem and where I can use my tool or which tool I can use, so that you are defining. Okay, so that is a basic problem. So I will start my session with the presenting you the PowerPoint presentation. So
Sir, there is a disturbance. Please ask them to mute, please.
to mute whom? Please, all of you, please mute yourself, so there won't be a much disturbance.
All participants are requested to mute themselves.
Now this PPT is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir. PPT is visible. Sir,
Okay.
PPT is visible.
Sure. So basically, today I am going to discuss the application of soft computing technology in engineering. Okay. So in that, fundamental of neural network is a basically this is a one tool that we are using to solve our the problem basically. So as we told that there is a two approach. One is we are defining the problem and we are searching the tool which tool is best for ourselves, and second thing is that we are passionate to use that tool and accordingly we are framing the problem. But here there is a issue of one is the data collection. One is the issue is the data collection. So how robust your data? Okay, how much important your data is and what is the accuracy in that data? Whatever the data you collected, that is of past 10 year or past 5 year or past 1 year or past 1 month, so what type of data it is there and what is accuracy? Suppose you are taking the data like flood data, so that will be a no much variation will be there. But when you are counting a traffic volume, and in the traffic volume if you are not having the proper enumerator, number of enumerator required based on the number of modes. Suppose two-wheeler is there, car is there, truck is there. So many modes are there. So according to the mode and number of enumerator is not there, then you may have slightly erroneous database volume calculation. Okay. So uh, what type of data you have and how to deal with that database, okay, that is another problem. And the direction, that in which direction you are going to use, whether the problem is suppose you want to use artificial neural network, suppose you want to use genetic algorithm, suppose you want to use fuzzy logic, but your problem is not suitable to that methodology, that is also there. Your problem is not set for that framework, which framework you made for the particular solving problem. And at the time, that is creating a lots of problem. And the researchers are fed up that what to use or what not to use. उसको कैसे यूज करे भाई, अभी तो आता ही नहीं, इसमें आंसर मेरा आता ही नहीं है, मेरा बैठ नहीं है. Okay, so sometime it is not important that every time you should get a proper answer. Suppose my one of the PhD student is doing one study in a freight transportation. So in freight transportation, simple linear regression is also good. Okay, because in a worldwide there is a linear regression, and the suppose if you are going exponential power or power function based regression equation you can use. So there is no need to feed unnecessarily the other tools. There is a ANN or fuzzy or genetic algorithm. Even in regression, we are not getting the R square as a 9 or 8. Even we are not 0.6 also. But the 0.4 holds also good. You should have a proper defending nature. Okay. Even 0.6, the international researcher, we are referring the international researcher, in there they use simple regression equation. Canadian researchers or Australian researcher, you may find the people those who are working in UK, most often they are genuine. Okay, if you European researcher, if you find, they are most genuine, they don't use some kind of artificial, that is a big catchy softwares or catchy kind of things. So they are genius, and this they are sometimes they are using the regression equation and they are also getting the R square 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, but they should have a valid reason for that. R square is not only the measurement of your results. There is other parameters also, that what is the relation between the each parameter, how that parameter is associated with the each other. Then what is the significance level of that particular parameter? What is the t value? What is the z value if you are using p value? Okay, so every parameter you have to search, and based on that you have to conclude whether this is good or not. Okay, so every time it is not possible that you should have a positive result, but you should have a proper understanding, because the researcher only knows the problem, even supervisor doesn't know. Researcher only knows the problem, researcher knows the data. Okay, जैसे फादर होता है किसी का, ओके, सो पिता ही अपने बच्चे को समझ पाता है पूरे पूरा, उसका कैरेक्टर कैसा है, उसका नेचर कैसा है, वो कब बिहेव कैसा करेगा, वो बाहर जाएंगे तो कैसे बिहेव करेगा, होटल में जाएंगे तो कैसे पिज्जा पिज्जा करेगा कि चाइनीज चाइनीज करेगा, उसको पता है अपने पापा को, ओके। सो ऐसे ही रिसर्चर को अपने डेटा के बारे में पता है, वो डेटा कब क्या बिहेव करेगा, वो कितनी आर स्क्वायर वैल्यू देगा, क्यों उतनी आर स्क्वायर वैल्यू दे रहा है, एवरीथिंग द रिसर्चर नोस। पर उसको उसके डूबना चाहिए, उसको डेटा के अंदर डूबना है उसको, ओके। ही हैज टू सी मेनी टाइम दैट पर्टिकुलर database, he has to search many things and you have to understand, उसको feel करना है, उसके साथ रहना है डेटा के साथ, then and then only you can have that. So basically the data and what problem it is there, so that based on that you have to work out that thing. So likewise, that which tool you can use. So there is a simple there is a two part will be there. One is a simple statistics are there, that is a regression equation and all these things are there, that is one part is there. And that is a basically the base of any kind of research. The regression equation, the correlation coefficients, the t test, p test, z test, they are the basic, okay, and they are the base for any research. Even if you are able to solve your problem with that basic regression equations and basic statistical parameter, then is also holding a good, okay, there is no need to use anything. But when you are going to use a certain specific objectives, specific task, future forecasting or understanding or modeling, then at that time you require a certain kind of advanced tool or advanced techniques that you need to have. So in that, two parameters are playing major role. One is the complexity of the system, what complex system do you have, and second thing is that what precision you require, है ना, दो चीजें होती है कि आपको प्रिसीजन कितने तक का चाहिए, you require a higher precision or moderate precision, and your problem is a simple problem that few parameters are there, 1 2 3 parameters are there, and 1 2 3 parameters are related to the single parameter, okay. So it is a simple one. But when 15-20 parameters are there and 15-20 parameters having thousands of data, and that thousands of data varies from 0 to 1000, okay, there is no similarity. Actually, in every data, x1, x2, x3, x4, every data there will be a similarity. X1 varies from 0 to 10, okay, x2 varies from 1000 to 2000, x3 varies from 1 lakh to 5 lakh, okay. So there will be a some in a data also, in a variable database, there will be a uniformity, but sometimes you may find out there won't be a uniformity, okay, there won't be a uniformity. Suppose you are comparing the worldwide population, okay, in that worldwide population if you are comparing and you are feeling that the height is one parameter, okay, then color is one parameter, okay, so the language is the other parameter, and based on this you are comparing the worldwide population, then you might be able to see the European people, the American people, they are having the more than more height, 6 feet, okay, 6 feet above or 6 feet, that will be there. If you Asians are you are considering, then it is 5 feet, around average 5 feet will be there. If you are considering Chinese and all, they are having the even 4 feet average or 4.5 feet or so, there will be variation. The color, that is white, black, okay, so there is a color tone, so there is a even single parameter having the variety of that particular thing. So that is a complexity is there, okay. And now what precisions you require, so based on that we are deciding. Hello, is there any problem, shall I continue? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so so that is what that is in a single parameter also there will be a number of variations are there. There is a height, we talk about 6 feet to 4 feet also, okay. So in that case what will be happen, you have to see the complexity and what type of precisions you want. So that will be, if your complexity is very low, there is no much complex system is there, database is simple, and you want a higher precision, then you can use a mathematical equations or mathematical modelings, you can go. So many mathematical tools are available, that is a linear regression, exponential, there is parabolic functions are there, so many kind of things will be there, but it is basically a mathematical base, okay, simple mathematical base. but you are having the moderate kind of things. Complexity is moderate and precision is also moderate. Then you can use model free methods, ANN. ANN does not have any kind of models. Okay, it is not having certain parameters fixed. Okay, so it is a model free methods. There is a mathematical equation is a highly model a, equations, and all these things are fixed things are there. And when your complexity is too high and your precision level is very low, then you can go for fuzzy techniques kind of things. Okay, so this is what this system basically says about the prediction. If you want to predict or if you want to do further forecasting, then this system is there. Genetic algorithm and is genetic algorithm, the optimizations are all the part of the mathematical equation. But these three layers are there, three parts are there. One is the mathematical equations, where there will be a calculation, there will be assumptions. The data are normally distributed data, because when we are doing the research, then we are collecting the data and we are not understanding the data first. You have to understand your data first, whether your data is following normal distribution, whether your data is parametric or non-parametric, and based on that only you will understand that yes, my data is parametric, my data is non-parametric, my data is following normal distribution, my data is not following normal distribution, my data set is more than 30, my data set is less than 30, my data set is 1000, my data set is not normalized, my data set is having the variation from 0 to 1 lakh, so I have to make the variation, so much variation is there in individual variable also, so I need to normalize it. So you have to first 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, at least 1 month you have to spend to understand your database. कि मेरा है ना, जैसे फादर बोलता है कि मेरा बेटा कैसा है, वैसे आपको सोचना है कि मेरा डेटा कैसा है. ओके, एंड दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड entire data set, how it is behaving, what is a normal, what is everything you have to understand. it is क्यूनेस कैसी है उसकी, कौन से टाइप डेटा फॉल कर रहा है. तो आप जैसे डेटा सोचोगे, डेटा को समझोगे, डेटा को देखोगे, तो आप में उसको अंदर से ही आपको फीलिंग आती रहेगी कि यस, ये ऐसे करना चाहिए, ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए, ऐसे होना चाहिए, ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. ओके, और right now the so much YouTube videos are available and everything. So if you are having certain queries that my data should be followed normal distribution or not normal distribution, कैसे देखेंगे? सीधा आप टाइप करो, YouTube में वीडियो मिल जाएगा, वो 5 मिनट का वीडियो होगा, 5 मिनट का वीडियो देख के आप पता चल जाएगा कैसे टेस्ट करना है उसको. ठीक है? So everything is available to you on handy, and it is a handy, everything is handy, so you can understand that thing. But all these things are data related things are there. That is a mathematical equation. Genetic algorithm ले लो, ant colony optimization ले लो, then multi criteria decision making ले लो, AHP ले लो, everything belongs to the mathematical equations. And that is one is a model free methods. Actually this also known as a black box methods, white box method and gray box methods. There is three types. One is a white box means white transparent, आप उसको देख सकते हो, है ना. ब्लैक मीन्स ब्लैक के पीछे क्या हो रहा है आपको पता नहीं है. ग्रे मीन्स थोड़ा सा समझ में आएगा, थोड़ा सा समझ में, पूरा समझ में नहीं आएगा. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर देयर. सो इन अ व्हाइट बॉक्स यू आर एबल टू सी सर्टेन बिहेवियर कि कैसे काम कर रहा है वो. तो मैथमेटिकल इक्वेशंस एज अ व्हाइट बॉक्स, जिसमें आप इक्वेशन बनाओगे तो पता चलेगा कि भाई x1 is proportional to the y, okay, x2 is inversely proportional to y, x3 is square proportional to y. आपको पता चलेगा, है ना. नेगेटिव है तो भाई ये x1 बढ़ेगा तो y घटे कम होगा. ओके, सो यू एबल टू नो दिस बिहेवियर. So that is a white box. The second thing is a gray box. In that few things you are knowing. जैसे ANN is a gray box model. Okay. In that you are having the certain functions. वो functions के पता चलेगा आपको कि भाई ये ANN is purely linear equation based. तो regression और ANN में कोई फर्क नहीं है. Both are look like a similar. But complexity ज्यादा है इसलिए आपको ANN use करना पड़ रहा है. Okay, so you are able to know slight behavior of that, but entire behavior जब you use होता है तब आपको कुछ नहीं पता होता है. Okay, and fuzzy system में अंदर क्या system mechanism होती है, that is a black box, completely black box. That is no, you are not able to know anything what is happening and how it is happening. So that kind of things are there. So basically our focus is on neural networks, and neural networks that generated way back, and that is based on the concept of neurons, our brain. So how our brains are working, okay, on the basis of that only this neural network was created, or it is generated, or it is developed. Okay, so if you understand our brain from childhood level to the elder level up to the researcher level, suppose in a child level, if you are having that kind of things, suppose your child is of having 5 years, so once you are showing him on a picture that apple, okay, so he is in suppose nursery, and you are showing him or her a picture that is a this is apple, so he able to, most of the pictures are of red color. Okay, apples in most of the picture apple is shown is a red color. Okay, so he will be able to recognize, or she will be able to recognize that red color, and it is a some round color, round is there, and this kind of shape is there, then it is a apple. Okay, but suddenly you bring a green apple, है ना, आपको ग्रीन एप्पल लेके आया है, सो वो कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा कि ये क्या चीज है। ओके, उसको पता नहीं होगा कि ये क्या चीज है, पर वो 5th स्टैंडर्ड में आएगा तब उसको आप दिखाएंगे तो वो इमीडिएटली बोल देगा कि ये एप्पल ही है। आपने कभी उसको दिखाया नहीं होगा, ग्रीन एप्पल आपने कभी उसने देखा भी नहीं होगा, पर वो 5th स्टैंडर्ड में आते आते उसका ब्रेन ऐसे डेवलप हो जाता है कि वो एप्पल को देख के शेप से ही पता चल जाएगा। ही विल बी नॉट कंसिडरिंग कलर, वो क्या करेगा, सीधा शेप पे कॉन्सेंट्रेट करेगा। भाई शेप है, ऐसा है, एप्पल ही है। उसको ब्लैक कलर भी कर दोगे ना आप, तो 5th स्टैंडर्ड का बच्चा बोलेगा वो एप्पल ही है। ओके, सो लाइक दैट। अगर बनाना ले लो, सिमिलर वे, पक्का बनाना है तो येलो कलर का दिखेगा, कच्चा बनाना है तो ग्रीन कलर का दिखेगा। यस, हाँ, okay, okay, fine. Because actually bilingual will be there na, so that will be a presentation will be a good. Okay, so anyway, I will try to speak in that this way. So if you are showing him your kid the banana, or that is also ripe banana is there, then it is will be having the yellow color, and if it is a that is a not raw banana is there, then it will be a green color. So once you are showing him a nursery or junior KG level, second 3 year 4 year kid, then he cannot able to identify. So after certain period of time, you are habituating your brain in a such a way that by looking to the shape only, he will understand whether it is a banana or apple, or whether it is an apple, then it is which type of apple. Okay, so he will be recognized, and at the age of 50 you will be more serious. Okay, so you are, by touching that particular apple, might be you are able to know, because you are expertise in that. Many people are having the expertise. Okay, so suppose civil engineers are there, most probably we are civil engineers, so or engineer will be there. So after certain period of time of experience, if we are having the supervisor under V, okay, he is not engineer, but after several experience, he will be able to identify, yes, this is a 12 mm diameter bar, this is a 20 mm diameter bar, or this is 40 mm diameter bar. वो नीचे खड़ा होगा, he will be standing at below, and at he, by looking to 10th story, he will say is that this is a 8 mm bar, this is a 12 mm bar, because his brain is habituated to understand that phenomena. So basically the neural network works on that. So our problem, or our that artificial neural network setup is also working on that how much you are training. Okay, whatever the training, if you are providing the good and robust training, then your network or your whatever the framework is there, that framework is robust framework, and whatever you will be putting, it will be giving perfect answer. Okay, it will be giving perfect answer. So it is just like a brain. So more the neurons, more the energy you are putting, more the training you are giving, more the habits you are developing, then that way your brain is predicting in a nice way, brain is identifying in a nice way. That similar way your data will be analyzed in neural network also nicely. Okay, so that is that. So neural networks are nothing but it is a network of neurons. our in a brain, there will be a neurons are there. So it is found in a real brain. So that is similar thing is there. Okay, and that based on the neurals, we are identifying certain things because each neurons having the characteristics. One neuron may be able to understand the color code. One neuron is able to understand the height type of things. One neuron will able to understand the size of the objects. Okay, so different neurons having the different characteristics, and that neurons all together combine and it will be going to the brain. So he will be identify, yes he is American, yes he is Chinese. Okay, आपको कैसे पता है? How you will able to identify that it is a Chinese or American? Because several times once you are seeing them and you will be recognizing. Okay, but suppose some person will come, then if he is from northeast or he is China, so that recognition is not proper. Okay, somebody is coming from northeast, so you are not able to recognize until unless he will identify himself or herself कि नहीं, I am belonging to the northeast state. So for that, you require to stay in northeast area. You have to habituate your. So by looking their face, slightly certain changes are there. Their face, their language, their height, everything will be a certain. The skin tone will be certainly different from the Chinese. So you once you are staying 1 year, 2 year in northeast, then automatically you are able to recognize no, this is a Chinese and this is not Chinese. So that is way you have to train your brain. So similar way you have to train your neural network in a stronger way, so you will be able. So this is only simple difference between the brain and the neural network. Okay, and there will be parallel computing system. As I told now, there is a neurons are there. So there is one neuron is identifying size, one neuron is identifying the color, one neuron identify the height. So similar way parallel computing systems are. So each things are working and they are processing and they all together bring a certain kind of answer, and that answer will be you are satisfying or not, that you have to see. Okay, so that will be there. So that is a basically a neural networks. Okay, and similar way the artificial neural network is a information processing system. Okay, so just what it is, that information processing system, whatever the information you are providing. Agar if you are showing a child a banana and you are brainstorming him that this is not banana, this is apple, 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 apple. Up to 2 years of the age, you are brainstorming him or her that this is not a banana, this is apple, apple, apple. Then after a certain period of time, he will also says that this is apple. So how you are providing the information, that is very much important in this case. Okay, so wrong information will lead to the wrong answer. So if you are putting the database and you are processing it, and at the end you are not getting the answer and says that neural network is not working proper, then it is because you are providing the information wrong. So first you need to understand that whether the information provided is correct or not, whether the functions you taken, whether the training you had given to your network is sufficient or not. Okay, because ANN is a beautiful tool. I tell you, ANN is a very beautiful tool. Whatever the data you will give, according to he will be predicting. But first thing is that you have to give the training to him. You have to give the strong training to that network. If your training is good, then but obvious your answer will be good. Just like our kids, if we are giving the good training, if we are giving the good education, then they will be IAS officer, IPS officer. And if you are not giving the training to them, then what will be the scenario? He is not able to crack his 12th exam also. So how you are training, that everything matters, your answer matters on that training. Data, whatever the data you can give, he will take up and he will do that things. Similar, in our case also, if somebody asks you drink wine, smoke cigarette, okay, that is bad habits, you cannot do. But you are training in that sense, then what is the answer? Answer is bad habits. You are a not good person. Okay, so like that it is there. Everything is possible. Every information is processing, he can process, but the answer you will get at the end it is not up to your level if you are not giving the proper training. So that is only the things in neural network. Okay, so that is there. So why networks we need to scale? That is basically it is a power as our brain को देखो सिर्फ he the brain is a magic tool. Okay, once you know this is a printer, when you know this is a banana, when you know this is a vegetable, this is a fruit, this is a tomato, this is a X person, this is a Mr. Y person, this is a Mr. Z person, so up definitely after certain period of time, after 1 year or 2 year or 3 years, if you are meeting, then you will be recognized. No, I had seen somewhere where we met. I think in this conference we met, in this STP we met. I think I heard your name somewhere. So your brain is very very beautiful tool because it will be calculating. Okay, everything it is calculating. He is going in the back. He is going in the back, and he will be calculating, and he is bringing something. It is like a storeroom. Brain is a storeroom. So whatever the things are still there in brain, somewhere in ideal in the one corner, so your brain will go in the storeroom and he will be searching that things. Yes, this person name I heard in one STTP. Okay, I had seen this name in STTP. He says good morning, how are you? Okay, yes, you are there. So your brain is having the everything. Okay, so that is there. Second thing is a parallelism. Okay, multiple parallel entities can be there. So I, as I told you, that is one is a skin recognition, so color coding. One is a height coding. One is a what we can say, the height coding, color coding, and language coding. So everything is there. Okay, so parallelly you can work. So it is a massive parallelism, n number of parallel computing things you can have. Okay, so that will be there. Sometimes some unknown person is calling us and we can able to recognize. Are yaar, you are there. Okay, yes, you are Mr. X, na? Yes. Because from voice also you are recognizing. You do not need to see his name on mobile phone. Okay, so your brain is peripheral because parallel systems are working. Okay, so they can learn and generalize from training data. That is big things are there. Okay, so you need to train the data, and from that he will learn many things. Okay, X Y Z P Q Y, क्यों ऐसा ही आता है, why it is like that. So that is you can have the training, and from training it can be have. Then fault tolerance. There is a beauty of ARN is there. Suppose you are training that. So there is a two types of network. We will discuss that. So in that also he will be recognized. No, there is some error. So he will be recognized is that error, and he will be getting back. आपको भी once you also felt that some face known face will be there. So you are recognizing him. You are Mr. X. He says no, I'm not. Oh, okay, fine. I thought that you are Mr. X. So like that it will be there. So he will be recognizing, yes, I did a mistake, so I will be doing back. Okay, so that things are there. Noise tolerance. Some erroneous data are there, so he can identify that erroneous database and he will supermask. Usko remove kar dega. Okay, he will remove that thing. Okay, so that is a noise tolerance. Okay, so because of these things, or they are also doing some principle, logic, rule, and everything, they are working on that, the artificial intelligence. That's why, because of this, so many advantages. He is having powerful computation mechanism, parallel computing systems are there. He can train his data set. If something by mistake is happened, so he can gracefully degrade it and he can repair that things. He will be error matching the error, and he can adjust the weights and adjust the different things in that case, and he can work on the logic or the rules which you are providing. Okay, so that's why we are using this, and this is some of the statistics that brains, we are not going in things. I think PPT will be shared to you, so you can go through. This is the basic statistics of the brain versus computer. That brain use this much of energy, the computer uses this much of energy. He's having this much neurons and this much computer. I mean, are the some basic statistics about the some numbers, and we are not going much in detail because it is not much useful. But for understanding the neural network, that you have this thing. Then second thing is that we will consider, this is one snapshot of the brain neurons. There will be a synapses and neurons and cell bodies and that will gives us the idea about the prediction of that things. Similar way in our neural network is also there. There will be a synapses, that is a connections. That connections are having some mathematical function, and that mathematical function are the very parallel computing system, and their connections. And from this the data, different data, height data, width data, then color data, voice data, everything you are feeding, and that they are going to the one central processing unit, and that will be a processing based on the data and pattern recognition. It is just like a pattern recognition. If voice is this, if height is this, if color is this, if language is this, then the person is this. So likewise, he will be identifying all parameters, and he will be guessing the particular things. Okay, so this is kind of neural network. So basically, there will be a certain inputs in neural network, and data. And for that, you require a certain mathematical functions, non-linear equations, activation functions, transfer function. ये data को, this data is transferred to the output. So there will be some transfer function, mathematical function, activation functions that will be there. And finally, we will get the output that will be there. Okay, why we are using the ANN? Okay, non-linearity. Okay, this follows the non-linearity. It is a basically, it is a form of linear equation. In regression equation, what is that? Might be you are knowing the regression equation. So in regression equation, actually here, if I am able to show, in regression equation we are having this line. Okay, suppose this line is there in regression equation, and that line is feeding to the certain points. These are our datas. Okay, these are the data, suppose. These are the datas. Okay, so how this line in regression will go, that which is the optimal distance from this. So it is a straight perpendicular one. This is the distance from data set. This is the distance from data set. This is the distance of line from data set. This is the distance of line from the data set. So where the distance is minimum, that line fits. But in ANN, this line goes not a linear. In regression, it is a linear or curvilinear. Okay, but though ANN can be a part, it is a basic fundamental concept is regression line only, basic fundamental concept. But that passes in a such a way that it will be having the maximum nearness to all data sets. Regression equation may this is not possible. In regression equation, line fits only where the distance will be a minimum. So certain data points are at the larger stage, and based on that, it will be accuracy will be achieved. But in ANN, the beauty is that it is taking a path in a such a way that it is a distance equidistance from all the points. So basically, it is not going in a linear directions. Okay, so it is following the non-linearity concept also, and hence you are getting the maximum accuracy in ANN compared to the regression equation. Okay, so that is there. Then input and output mapping. You are having the definite input, you are having the definite output, and then you can work on that and you can get the answer. Okay, adaptability. जैसे अपना mind, our mind is, okay, whether it is a rainy season, then we are working accordingly. Our mind will work accordingly. If and also our brain is working accordingly. If we are shifted to USA, then our brain will be, so we are readily adaptable to the system. Similar way, ANN is also, if you are changing the data, immediately the network will change and it will be adapt to that additional database. Okay, so that is that. The evidence responses, whatever you are having the output, confidently it will be mapping that output, and based on that it will be responding that things. So whatever the output you are having, that output he is mapping and it will be giving the answer. Fault tolerance, that is the beauty of the ANN, is fault tolerance. In back propagation network, feed forward and feedback network is there. So suppose you are giving the certain inputs and output is coming out and it is not matching with your output, then it is giving back. He will be returning back and he will be again processing the data, and once again up till now he is not getting the answer, he will be doing that things. That's why we are using the ANN. Now basically what is this is about the theoretical part, but what is basically ANN? That is ANN having the basically the three things. One is an input data set. Okay, one, we are having the input data set, that is we are having the inputs, we are putting the inputs in the data set. Second thing is output, and the third thing is intermediate things where the data is processed. So there will be three layers in the neural network. First is the input layer, where you are putting your inputs data, x1, x2, x3 data, you are putting that. Next is the processing layer, where it is known as a hidden layer, where because of the weights he will be changing that. Suppose voice and language having the similarity, because your tone and language, suppose Gujarati people are speaking Hindi, then you are immediately identify, yes, he is a Gujarati. South Indian people are speaking Hindi, then you are immediately identify, yes, he is a South Indian. So tone and language both are at the same level. So in the second layer, in the middle layer, the tone and language both are mixed and it is merging, become, and based on that it will be predicting that yes, he is a South Indian. Okay, so that will be there. Don't take in personally, I am just giving the example to clear your ideas in a better way. Okay, so that is there, only my reason is to give the example in that way only. Okay, so that tone and language both are not useful at simultaneously, so they are converging and merging and it becoming a one parameter. So that is a hidden layer. So in hidden layer, this kind of conversions from 10 parameter to the 5 parameter or 4 parameter or 3 parameter will be there, and finally you will get the output. Okay, what is the desired output? So that is it. So in neural network, first thing is that there will be 3 layers. One is the layer, second one is a hidden layer, and third is, and they are connected with the connections, and that connections carries a weights. Okay, that connections are carrying a weights, and that weights will be depending. Suppose your tone and language both are having the 50% weightage, color is having 60% weightage, okay, height is having the 100% weightage. So which parameter is playing a role, according to that, on that connection the weights will be there, and based on that weights only you will be able to identify the certain things. Okay, so that is there. Now you have to, this is the structure of the ANN. Now you have to give the training, you have to give the training, you have to frame the network. So there is a basically two types of network will be there. One is a feed forward network. feed forward जैसे नाम ऐसा, forward direction में जाएगा, it will goes on a forward direction only. Okay, so whatever the inputs are there, it is processing by this kind of things. These are the neurons, or we can say that these are the neurons which is having the different weights. This neuron having X weight, this neuron having the Y weight, this neuron having the X2 weight. Okay, so they are the connected with, and they are generating the hidden layer, and from the hidden layer it will be having the final output. So that is a one direction only, straightforward network. Okay, input से output मिलेगा, only you are getting from input to output. So that is also known as a bottom up or top down approach. Okay, whereas the second thing is that feedback network. फीडबैक आपको फीडबैक मिल रहा है. After my lecture I will ask you that how I taught you the ANN. So you are giving me feedback that this is not properly understood, this is missed, this is not given proper answer. Okay, so that feedback is there. So next time whenever I am presenting my ANN, so I will be having the feedback, so accordingly I will be editing my lecture. Okay, so that is there. So in this also, this input layers you are giving, it will be going to the hidden layer, then it will be predicting the output, and based on the output, if your output is not desired output, then he will be giving the back propagation, he will be giving the back, he will be adjusting the weight again, and he will be back making back, and that way they are giving the things, and जाएगा आएगा, and that way it is giving the final output one till your output is not matching with the things. Okay, so that is there. And in this things, whatever the calculations are happening here, whatever the calculation are happening in between, that is based on this transfer functions. There is a transfer functions. Just in our brain, there is a understanding that this is a apple, this is banana, this is human, this is animal, this is cat, this is dog. We are identifying based on the shape and size. So that is some processing is happening. So that processing is based on this transfer function. One is a linear transfer function, and sigmoidal transfer function. These three are the major transfer function. Generally in our engineering problem we are dealing the linear transfer function only. Okay, and that linear transfer function all will be all available in the softwares. Okay, so that is there, and these are the some of the examples of that. That is a model. These are the examples that where you can have financial modeling, computer gaming, intelligent games are there. Suppose we are want to predict a certain database, how much flood will occur in after 10 years, how much flood will occur. So that also you can have. How much crop will happens, so that also you can have. How much traffic flow, how much volume of the traffic will be going through this road, that also you can propose. Okay, so these are the several application of the neural network. So one of this I will show you in the transportation problem, that basically I am having the one junction. On the junction, the different traffic is coming up. Okay, now this junction having the different traffic, and every road having not similar volume. One road having the higher volume, one road having the moderate volume, one road having the lower volume. Okay, and even different time of the day the volume is changing. So complexity is there. Morning low volume, afternoon peak volume, noon no volume. Okay, so different day of the time, different seasons. Rainy seasons there will be volume is at low. Summer season afternoon there will be a zero volume or there is a negligible volume. So the complexity is increasing. It is not a simple. Every road, the four legs are there. Every legs having different volume. Every legs having different composition. Suppose in morning time, up to down trucks are heavy. Evening time, down to up trucks are heavy. So different day of the time, different season of the time, different roads, different volumes, different modes. So how to deal with that? Regression equation is there, but regression equation is not giving the exact answers. Okay, so that's why we are using this kind of equation. So this is simple regression equation. We developed two models. One is a regression equation. So in that, these are the parameters: approach discharge, approach width, arrival rate, instantaneous highest vehicle degree, and that finally I want that how much volumes are coming. D1, Di is the volume, and that volume is depend on so many parameters. So this is regression equation. Our regression equation is also holding good, 0.915. But when we are giving in a different day time, when we are giving it different season time, then it may not having the similar answer. So that's why we want to have a kind of neural network. So in neural network, there we created, there is a number of data set. That is these are the number of data set. Arrival rate, these are the number of factors. Arrival rate, approach width, instantaneous eye, degree of green ratio. These are the various variables, and that variables required to be modeled. So these are the variables we taken as a input layers. And what is the output? My output is single only. I want approach discharge. Kitna volume, how much volume will come? So that is my, this is a DI. DI is my output. So that is only one output. Okay. And that data set I will be doing the analysis. Now here, when I will be doing what I will do, first I get the data, first I will make the data. Now I told you important thing is the training. Whatever the data set we are having, we have to train this. Now for training, we have to have two methods. One is a supervised training and second is unsupervised training. Okay, just like a kid, you are giving them, you are asking them to climb on a tree. Okay, so you are giving them supervision, that first put your legs here, you hold tightly with your hands. So you have to do that things, you have to concentrate on your hand and you have to concentrate on your leg, nothing else. So this kind of advice you are giving supervision. So the supervised training you have to have. So maximum engineering problem, jitne bhi engineering problem hai, whatever the engineering problems are there, that is a supervised training. You have to give the supervised training. Unsupervised training, there is no need to have supervision ki zarurat nahi hai. There is no need to have supervision. There is everything will be so like card detection, card fraud detection. Your credit card is there, ATM debit card is there, fraud detection. There is no need of supervised training. Fraud detection means fraud detection. If somebody is using his card, he is getting the OTP, and within this time he is not giving your OTP or his mobile number is different, something get wrong. Okay, since 10 years he is not made the international transaction since 10 years, and suddenly he is making international transaction. So immediately the customer care center will vigilant and he will call you. Had you did international transaction? Yes, then he will start processing. Okay, so like that, it is a non-supervised. In that there is no requirement of supervisor. Only he has to see that since last 10 years this person has never did international transaction, and why immediately he required international transaction with this much big amount. 100 200 is okay, but if it is in lakhs, then he immediately. So card fraud detection there will be no, but in our most of the cases we require supervised training, because we are giving them that this data set is of height, this data set is color, this data set is tone, this is the variation. Okay, so that is the things. So supervised training and unsupervised. Then if you are confident that my x1 variable is highly related to y, your x2 is moderately related to y, then you are giving slightly lower weight. So also the assignment of the weights is also important. Okay, so how much weights you can have, that is also in your control. Okay, suppose your kids, you are giving 3-4 times training, that is enough. Certain complex problem is there, then you have to give more training, so uska weight zyada badh jayega, that weight is increased for certain other parameter. Apple banana he will be identify immediately, but Chinese language usko identify karna hai, to you require more training, more weights. You have to give more weights to learn a language. Tamil language, if you want to understand, then it is more complex. Okay, so you have to give more weights on language. Okay, so like that. So you are confident on the relation with each and everything, then you assign the weights in a more way. Now next things are, after giving the weights, after giving the supervised unsupervised training, you have to train the data set. Training, you have to give the training to them. So certain data set you have to keep aside. You know the x1 y1, x1 x2 x3, and what is the x1 x2 x3 predicting y, that is y is known. So 50 data set, out of 50 data set 30 data set you are keeping aside for training. कि भाई आपका x1 is there, x2 is there and x3 is there. if this amount of x1, if this amount of x2, and if this amount of x3 is there, then this is answer y. Similarly, second data set will be there, third data set. So your known parameter, you are giving
Sir,
them and you are training. Yes,
चेतन सर, जस्ट अ
yes,
मोमेंट सर.
yes, yes.
सर वो नीचे जो आपका शेयरिंग का एक ऑप्शन दिखाई दे रहा होगा ना, उसको हाइड कर दीजिए. थोड़ा सा
हाँ
डायलॉग के
हाँ.
बीच में दिख रहा है सर.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. How much time is left with me?
सर there is 30 minutes sir.
Still 30 minutes we are having, na?
Yes sir.
Okay, fine, fine, fine.
Thank you sir.
So that is the training. So if you are having the 50 number of data sets, 70% of the data set you are giving to training, and that data set is trained many times, several times, as with the supervised training, unsupervised training, whatsoever you are following, and based on that, that network becomes strong. And then whether your test training is proper or not, that you are checking with the remaining 30% data. 30% data you are feeding in that x1, x2, x3, and you are predicting the y, and that y is matching with your y or not, that you are checking. Okay, and if it is matching, means your training is proper. If your training is not proper, it is not matching, the testing is not matching, then you have to again train and you have to again test. Once training and testing is get over and you are getting the satisfied answer, your network is ready to use or predict or recognizing the pattern for any data set. Now you feed x1, x2, x3 where you don't know why, and that will give you the y. Okay, so that is this things are there. So this is my training data set and this is my testing data set. So observe that charge using the observe. Observations are this, and with the model, so you can see 1.77 it is having 2.07, 1.54 it is having 1.1. So you can see several time it is near 3.93, 3.79. Sometime it is might be different also. That is 1.70. This is 1.30, 1.14 data set. This is 1.31, 0.66. So 14th number data might be having certain error. That's why it is giving. But it will be masking all data set. Okay, it will be masking all data set, and based on that, he will be understanding. Might be your height is 4 feet, your language is pure English, your color tone is black, though you are native US people. ऐसा भी हो सकता है. That can be possible. So that can also be checked with these things. Okay, so every data set में तो everything will come. Whether you are taking the data set, you are not seeing that at the time of taking the data set it is following normal distribution or not. You are not checking that. Only your concentration is that accurate data set. So at that time, whatever are coming, you are adopting and you are recording it. Okay, so these things are taken care by this, and based on the training it will be trained. So you are plotting this. You can see the plot of the number of data set and this, and you are fitting that. Okay, so this is a plotting. Okay, output versus input, and your answers is there. Okay, so this is what data set and training data set statistics are there. Okay, so this is a mean square error, normalized maximum square error. ये सारे parameters है. R is also giving, they are giving the R 0.964, 0.955, means it is very good model. Okay, and your square of error is also less. You can have what is the error, acceptable error, 10%, 20%, you will decide, and you can cut training up to, one basic question is there, up to which time or up to how many data set we have to give the training. So training generally is given that what level of accuracy you require. So you are fixing your error. If you are getting the error less than 10%, you stop training. I am happy. If more accurate data is there and you want more accuracy, 1%. So you are feeding that in the network till I am getting the 1% accuracy. Okay, so all this depend on you only. As I told you in the first class, that father knows child very well, as researcher should know the data very well, that your data is at what level and how much accuracy you require. So you need to understand your data properly. Okay, so this is based on that. If you are satisfied with these parameters, statistical, because statistics also important. So if you are satisfied with the statistical parameter, you freeze that model and you predict the things. Okay, so this is what we predicted and we finally work out. And the next step in ANN is sensitivity analysis. That gives us that which parameter is affecting sensitive to our discharge. Okay, so there are the several parameters in that also possible. Okay, suppose in the sensitivity analysis, what we are doing generally, we are changing the parameter. Suppose 4 parameters you are having. These are the, suppose, parameters. These are the parameters. Okay, these are the different parameters. That approach discharge, you want to predict approach discharge, and the available data is width of the road. What are the number of vehicle coming, vehicle per second coming, vehicle per second, and what is a vehicle per second at the particular point of time, instantaneous, and what is the
అక్కడికే వస్తున్నా.
hello.
Madam, please mute yourself. All participants, please keep your mic muted.
Okay, so there is no question now.
Yes.
There is no question, there is no doubt. I think, I suppose. Okay, so there are the data set. Now this data set, sensitivity, we are, so this data set, which parameter, width, is how much influencing the discharge, arrival rate, how much influencing the discharge. So which parameter is highly influencing to parameter, so that we are testing with the sensitivity analysis. In sensitivity analysis, one point of time we are fixing one parameter. Suppose this parameter is there, we are fixing one set, and this parameter we are changing from minimum to maximum number. Okay, suppose you are having 50 data set, so 50 multiplied by 3, so 150 numbers of samples you are having. You are fixing the one parameter, that is approach width, and you are changing the arrival rate from maximum to minimum. Then you are changing the instantaneous highest vehicle flow from maximum to minimum. You are changing the degree of saturation from maximum to minimum, and you are checking that how is your discharge. जो prediction है वो कैसा है. Okay, next things, you are fixing the arrival rate and you are changing other 3 parameters. Next time fixing the third parameter and you are changing the other 3. So likewise, you are putting the one as a fixed one and other you are varying from maximum to minimum, and you are checking the influence of all parameter on prediction, and that will give the sensitivity. Which parameter is giving the variation in the discharge, that is says that that parameter is sensitive to the prediction. So that sensitivity analysis also we can do, and we can identify that arrival rate is influencing more to the discharge. Okay, so sensitivity analysis also we can do. This is also one more things. This is one more model we created. There is a regression approach is there. That is in regression, what we are doing, we are putting the input and output database, we are fixing the correlation matrix, and we are saying that how the parameter are behaving. Then we are doing the stepwise regression, and from that, if your parameter is satisfied, then you are fixing that thing. In similar way, ANN also, first we are doing the correlation analysis, we are randomizing the data. Here there is one important thing, randomization of the data. Why we are randomizing the data? Because if you are giving the continuous data, if you are driving on the road and road is a straight road. Okay, then it will be monotonous. Your brain will go in the sleep mode. Your computer, laptop, if computer and laptop is not active since 10 minutes, 20 minutes, then automatically it goes to sleep mode. Correct or not? I am continuously speaking for 5 hours, then your brain will go on a sleep mode. So like that in ANN also, your randomization of the data, if continuous data is there na, then your network will habituate. वो इतना exercise नहीं कर पाएगा. He will be not trained in that better way. So once you are randomized continuous data ko you are breaking down into incontinuous data set, that it is not following certain kind of normalization, certain kind of rules, then that will be giving the better answer. One data set is of Chinese, one data set of American, one data set of US, one data set of Indian, one data set of Thailand's. Okay, so if 50 data set of Chinese, then 50 data set of American, then 50 data set of UK people, then that will be a confusing. It will be monotonous. So it's not properly trained. But one data set of each, if you put, then that randomization will bring more robust network. The next step is a data partitioning. Next, you have to partitioning your data set. That is, I told you now, whatever the data set is there, 70% you can have for the testing. 30%, sorry, 70% is for the training. First, you have to give the train, and then 30% is for the testing. So that data set you have to partitioning. You have to give this side. And next step is a design of network architect. That is a majorly thing. Design of network architect. In that, as I told you, that how many layers you will be selecting. Input layer, hidden layer, and output layer. How many layers are there in input layers? How many variables are there in hidden layers? And how many variables are there in output layers? Then what transfer function, mathematical equation, what mathematical function you will choose? Up to what your network will train? 1% minimum square error, 10% mean square error, 50% mean square error. Up to what level you will train? So that you are deciding. Which type of training you will be choosing? Supervised training, unsupervised training. Which type of network you will choose? Feed forward network, feedback network. So all these things you are deciding on this design of network architect. Then once it is fixed, you are training the data set. You are selecting the data and you are training them and testing the data set. You are testing the data set. After training, your model is fixed. Then you are testing. Whatever the 30% data is there, you are feeding that and you are seeing the predictions. If each prediction is matching with your observed data set, then you are saying it is okay. Then everything is okay, then you are checking the performance measures. That is mean square error, R square, R, the chi-p, and everything you are checking. If it is okay, then you are freezing that model and you are using for further predictions. If it is not up to the mark, then you are giving back. यहाँ पे आ जाएंगे वापस और आर्किटेक्ट को चेंज करेंगे. हिडन लेयर में if in a hidden layer if 15 number of data set is there, then you are making 20. If mean square error 10% you choose, so you may have 12% or 5%. If feed forward network you choose, then you change to the feedback network. If transfer function is mathematical transfer function, sigmoidal transfer function, whatever you choose, linear or threshold, then you choose that. So what type of architecture you choose, you are changing, and again you are running the training. Again you are testing that, and if it is satisfied, then you are freezing the model. So this is the basic scenario, basic steps in doing the ANN. Okay, so this is one more equations that we had worked linear equations, and this is also with the help of. So this is the design of network architects. You can see this is that. So nodes, how many nodes means how many data set. So input having the 8 variables, hidden layer it will be converging and it becoming 7 variables, and finally my output is of 1 only. I require 1 only speed. This is the equation. that basically I want to have the speed, independent variable, and I use the 772 data set. Out of that, 322 I use, sorry, 700, total my data set is 1287, and out of that 772 data sets are used for the training purpose, and this is 193 are for testing purpose. There is one more parameter is cross validation. Cross validation feedback के लिए, this cross validation is for feedback. Okay, it will be cross validation. So cross validation will give us the idea about the individual behavior. That is, sometimes it is using for the testing and training and mix kind of things. It will be interchanging the data. Okay, so from that we can get the idea. It will be more training. If you are showing your child apple, 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 and suddenly you are saying this is banana, then apple, green apple, red apple, okay, cherry apple. So this kind of several permanent combinations you are giving, and in between you are showing them a tomato. Okay, in between you are showing the carrot, and this you are changing its pattern. Okay, so that is cross validation. So this is my parameters, and total 28 models I created. 28 models, different 28 models based on the different parameters, network architects. These are the transfer function 10 axon hai. This is a mathematical function. These functions, several number of are there. So that 10 axons I kept. Okay, the learning function, this one. So I changed so many parameter, and total 28 permanent combination, 28 models we created, and out of that, which is the best one that we selected. So this is a selection of network architect, and based on that, these are the data set prediction and forecasting. So almost behaving same. So this is the statistical parameters, and I felt this after 20 so many trial and error, this data set is fixed. So I had kept the fix, and then I plotted the graph between the output and observation and output, and I got 0.94 r square. Okay, 0.94 r square. And this is also I predicted that which parameter is affecting the stream speed, which parameter is affecting the stream speed. Okay, so this is the number of cars, number of LCV, number of HCV, side frictions, flow. So flow is highly affecting the speed. Flow is more, your speed can be reduced. Okay, so this is the parameters. So sensitivity analysis is also a beautiful tool you can do with the software of ANN. So you can have the understanding of your data set. Okay, so these are the different ANN based models, and field observed database, and regression based models, and ANN based models. So it is, you can see the field based models giving 0.86, the regression based models gives 0.9, and it is highly trained. Okay, highly trained, it gives 0.96. Okay, so that is a way you can have the use of data set, and that is there. Okay, so this is about the things. Now to do this, all these things you cannot do with the notes and pen and pencil. For that you require a software. Okay, for requires you require a software, and that softwares, so many softwares are available. In a MATLAB there is a tool, in SPSS also there is a module, in a what we can Origin also. Every statistical package having this kind of ANN tool. So in that ANN tool you can use. But one of the best beautiful tool I had seen, there is a Neuro solution for Excel. Neuro solution for Excel, it is freely available, but it is a trial version. Sorry, freely not, it is a trial version is available. Neuro solution for Excel, that you can use for your work. Okay, so that is there. So Neuro solution for Excel, that will give us the Neuro solution for Excel will help us to give the Neuro solution for Excel will help us to have this understanding of Neuro solutions. So these are the only software based you can do. Okay, those who are frequently they are comfortable with the what we can say use of MATLAB, they can use a MATLAB also. those who can use the SPSS, they can also use the SPSS for their work. Those who are just want to have understand comparison between the regression equation and comparison between the ANN, they can use what you can say the neuro solution for Excel. It is an Excel based tool. So your data set is in Excel, so directly you can have and you can use that things. So these are the many softwares are available, and that softwares are useful to work on the neuroscience. But the first thing is that you have to see your data set. You have to randomize your data set. उसको ऊपर नीचे randomize करना है. Second thing is that for more understanding, you can normalize also, because if one variable is varying from 0 to 1, second variable is varies from 100 to 1000, third variable is varies from lakh to 10 lakh, then if you do normalization, then your training will be a proper. Okay, so first thing is the randomization, second thing is a normalization, and then you choose your architecture wisely. That number of layers, hidden layers, the transfer functions, the training, how much training you have to give. Okay, so all these things you have to fix nicely, and for that trial and error. And I told you, as child knows father, father knows child very well. You have to do so many trials. 3-4 दिन तक वो उसको खाली रन करते रहो. You take the data set, you change the architect, you run the softwares, and you see how it is behaving. Don't bring to the conclusion that my prediction is good or bad or worst or how. Don't rush to the conclusion. You just understand everything. You just see the data set. You just see the behavior of ANN, how it is doing. And then once you are confident on that, then remove all the thing, delete everything, and then start from the scratch. And whatever the data set you are bringing out of that, because you are also training your brain how to use ANN. Correct? So once you are trained that how to use ANN, delete everything, start from the scratch, and build a beautiful network, and your problem will be solved. Okay, so basically the ANN is used for prediction, pattern recognition. Okay, nothing else. Prediction and pattern forecasting, pattern recognition, prediction, everything. Because as your brain is trained, similar way you are training your data set, and you are bringing a one beautiful networks of ANN. Correct? So here we are ending. If you are having any doubt, you can clarify.
Hello, sir.
Yes, welcome. Okay, fine. No, there will be no limit of that. There will be no limit. And once you are getting the feedback, then it will be adjusting the weight. In feedback network, once your data is gone and it is not matching to the output, then it is returning back, and again the weights of each parameter will be readjusted, and then the network will be performed. So that is the things. Yes. That is a mathematics are involved in this. As I told you, it is a gray box. So you know certain things, mathematics. So if you know your problem is a simple linear regression equations problem, then you can choose a mathematical function accordingly. If it is a complex, then you can have that kind of thing. So basic knowledge of your mathematics is compulsory required to get more idea. Otherwise, if you are not interested in mathematics, only you are dealing with the problems, then your only answer is that you trial and error. You make trial and error with the all functions, which gives you best answer that you choose. That is only the answer. Okay. Otherwise, if you are not having a mathematical knowledge, then you can do that. There is no such kind of things will be there. The best answer is that as I told you, certain parameters are correlated. Okay, so correlation matrix you have to check first, and if certain parameters are correlated, then accordingly, suppose you are having 10 parameters, and out of 10 parameters 5 parameters are correlated, so in hidden layer you can have five things. Okay, so that you can have, so that is what you have to understand your data set. Suppose tone of your speech and language both are having some relation, so that can be having one. So your data set you have to check that, and accordingly you have to choose. So best answer is that see the correlation matrix, how the correlation matrix having the variation in that relation between the one to one variables, and according to that you can choose. More the number of data set for the training, your network is very good. So generally 70-30% is the ratio. 70% is a training and 30% is the testing.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Shilpa, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, while using this artificial neural network toolbox, sir,
Yes.
I give the input. So, can I give any number of inputs? Like if I consider the electrical load, can I use the other parameters like humidity, temperature, other weather parameters?
Means inputs are suppose humidity, temperature, that are inputs. So you can input your input as that.
Okay, multiple inputs I can give.
Yes, multiple inputs. That is what
Multiple in,
x1, x2, x3, and number of inputs you can put.
in that array editor box, I can add all the inputs, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sir. After that training,
Hmm.
I get this performance curve.
Yes,
Training,
you will
validation,
get
and testing.
performance curve.
So, what is that curve, sir?
That
It
is
shows up 12
that.
epochs, 20 epochs.
So that is, it says that after certain period of time, because you are having the minimum least square error. Suppose you are giving up to what time you have to give the training. If your error is 10%, stop training.
Okay.
If your error is 1%, stop training. So epochs is that at what level your curve become a flatten, prediction become a flatten.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
that is when your prediction become a flatten, means after that the training is achieved.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that is it.
And here I get that regression nearing to point 0.9 or 1. It should be close to 1, right, sir?
No,
Regression.
that is what I said. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is, it is never be close to one. It is totally depend on your data set. If your data set is purely normally distributed with greater accuracy, then it
Yes.
will be 0.9, 0.8. Even certain parameters with 0.6 also valid. But you should have another proof. That is, what is a p value, what is a t value, what is a chi-square value, what is a significant level of that particular parameter. That all the things you have to check, not
Yes.
only r square. Even r square 0.6 can be good if your all parameter are having very well performed. If you are having the r square 0.98, but your
Yes.
p value and t value and chi-square values are significant level is not good, then your model is not good.
Yeah.
So you have to check other parameter also, not only r square or r.
Yes. So validation and testing also point 0.8, point 0.9.
Point 0.9,
It
yes,
says
yes,
the
it is
same
good.
thing, right, sir?
It's called,
So
it's
how do
good.
we validate our results, sir?
That is what, that is, you can have the comparison. I showed you na, the
T-test.
prediction versus observation. So the whatever
Yes.
the ANN prediction is there and what is the observation, if you plot the graph and your error is below 10%, 5%,
Below 10.
then that is a good.
Yes. Okay, sir. T-test is not necessary, sir.
No, t-test is not necessary, not necessary.
Not necessary. Just we can
That is
compare the
for,
error.
that is for the parameter, that whether the
Okay.
parameter is significant to your prediction or not. For
Okay.
that, the t-test is there.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank so much, sir.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Dr. Shan. Sir, I have a small doubt. Sir,
Yes.
in generally, artificial intelligence or artificial neural networks or machine learning techniques, whenever we are taking, generally we will prefer to go for autocorrelation.
Yes. Yes.
So, do it really required, sir?
See, because once we are doing the correlation analysis, that will gives us the idea about the relation of the each and every parameter. So whether certain parameter is not required, you can omit that also. So your training will be proper. It will be not getting biased one.
Okay. So, in that autocorrelation also, generally they'll prefer till lag 5, lag 1 to lag 5. So, if we are taking more than that, do we have a results or correct results, or if we are taking less than that, do we have
Actually,
any problem?
I had not gone through that level, so I am not
Okay.
clear about that thing. So I had not ever never used that level there that level because our problems are only simplified natures. So we had not yet reached to that complexity. That is.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Uh,
Hello.
yes.
Yeah, I'm Sarana Kumar, sir. Is there any constraint for giving the inputs?
Pardon? I'm not getting-
Is there any constraints for giving the inputs?
No, no, there is no constraint.
For
There is n number of
I'm
inputs, n number of the things you can have. That is what the beauty. Whatever the things you are giving, it will train and it will test and it will give the answer.
it's okay, sir. I belongs to mechanical engineering.
Uh,
As far as the engine concerned, the
mhm.
parameters I had given means any constraint. There is any constraint for that? I'm
A
asking.
constraint for the parameter.
Yeah.
Okay, so that constraint actually this is a ANN is basically a predicting tool. Okay,
Okay.
so it is not working with the constraint. You can put the assumptions after getting your answer. You can put the assumptions that if this parameter having this maximum to minimum range, then this model will work hold good. So that kind of things you can put, but this ANN will not understand that this is a constraint of the particular variable. It will be predicting whatever you are giving. It is just our
Okay.
brain. Whatever you are giving the understanding, it will be predicting. It will not consider that kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So I want to know like a graph in an interactive manner computing techniques, sir.
Uh, to draw a graph, which software is most popular or
Which tool is most suitable,
see,
sir?
there is a Excel is there. Excel in that we can have that graphic. But Origin, the for plotting the I had used this SPSS and Origin also. But Origin is having the very good means add-on features which gives a
Okay.
beautiful graph figures and textures and understandings and that. So
Origin,
Origin,
sir? Origin.
Origin.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
You can edit, you can have the you can show the 85 percentile confidence level line also. You can show the 95 percentile confidence level line also. So everything is possible in that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. No, nature inspired algorithm I am not working in that. That is a end colony optimization and all these things are there. So in that I am not working. Linear separability or non-linear separability, that's many time it will be useful because it is depend on your data set, that how data set generally the ANN is working on the principle of linear equation only. It is a basic the advancement of the regression line only. Okay, so that is depend on the total data set. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Welcome. So shall I leave? Thank you very much to participant. Okay. Vipin Yadav sir, thank you very much.